Hey there, how's it going? Coach Kyle here, and welcome to video 1 in my series about beginner vegetarian, vegan topics. These are things that I, as a decade plus vegetarian and vegan, maybe wish I would have known earlier on in the journey, earlier on in the process, or things I think that you early on in your process, in your journey, will benefit from learning right now. So first off, for this video 1, I'm going to talk about definitions and having a good reason for going vegetarian or vegan. So first off, definitions. There are a few things you need to know. First off, vegetarian. What's a vegetarian? Somebody who doesn't eat like the flesh of an animal. They don't eat hamburgers or hot dogs or fish or chicken breasts, but they'll still eat eggs, dairy, butter, yogurt, etc. Now, a pescatarian is somebody who's basically a vegetarian who eats fish. Plant-based is a little bit of a hazy definition. Plant-based can be somebody who does eat a little bit of meat once in a while. I don't agree with that definition. I think that plant-based is vegetarian or vegan, and vegan is somebody who eats zero animal products. They eat 100%, nuts, grains, seeds, tubers, pulses, etc. Some vegans will even say that veganism isn't a diet, but it's a lifestyle. And for a lot of these people, they take it a step further and they don't wear leather, or they Google which running shoes are vegan, because sometimes the leather and the materials, the glue isn't vegan. And so they go a step further rather than just their diet, and they cut out, they eliminate as much animal products in their life as they can. Oh, and don't forget, if you're finding this helpful, please give the video a thumbs up. It helps the channel and it helps other new or future vegetarians find this video. So give the video a thumbs up. It helps me, helps other vegetarians. Now I want to talk about having a good reason for eliminating or reducing the animal products in your diet, because I promise you, you will be tested. You will go to parties and there won't be any or very limited vegetarian or vegan options. You'll go out to dinner at restaurants with friends, and same thing, your options on the menu will be a quarter or 10% of what the omnivores, the meat eaters, have available to them. And you need to have a really good reason for why you want to be vegetarian or vegan. And in my future videos in this series, I'll talk about kind of what to do, how to think in those scenarios. But for now, that's kind of outside the purview of this video right here. We're going to talk about, again, having a good reason. And for many people, those reasons are health, ethics, and the environment. And I'm going to start with ethics, because that was why I went vegetarian in the first place. Actually, I went pescatarian early on, and I grew up on a dairy farm. It's crappy. Family owned, little dairy farm in South Dakota. My father and his brothers inherited it from their father. So not a huge, factory farm, but still not great. Something I didn't want to support. And you can Google the pictures, the videos, the documentaries. I'm not going to spend time talking about that today. But for me, I think that there's no way somebody can say that factory farms, that it is a good thing to support. And that was enough for me to go pescatarian, go vegetarian early on, over a decade ago. Now, I don't have a huge problem with fishing or hunting for food. Now, of course, I don't support it. I try to eliminate this. The entire thinking behind my diet is I want to eliminate as much suffering in the world as I can. And for me, going vegan now is kind of the culmination of that goal. You'll also see that there's a lot of potential problems that the meat, the dairy, those types of industries are causing on the environment, whether it's cow poop, the methane, or it's the transportation or the water use. All this is enormous, and many people maybe first got that little inclination of going vegetarian through learning about how these industries negatively impact the earth, our environment. And then the other popular reason is health. And even as somebody with a degree in nutrition who lost 80 pounds, I do hesitate to recommend going vegetarian or vegan for health reasons, because there are a lot of conflicting research, documentaries, etc. out there about, is veganism, is vegetarianism actually healthier than having some meat, some dairy in your diet? And I think it's not less healthy, is what I'll say. I think that any diet which is focused, which is centered around whole foods, reducing junk intake, is going to be a pretty healthy diet. Now, of course, I would like to see that diet include no animal products, but that's me coming from an ethical point of view. There is still, I think, a lot of discussion to be had, research to be done on if eating meat, quality meat even, is a negative impact on our health, or if it's neutral or positive. Whereas ethically and environmentally, I don't think there's much room for discussion. I think that, in my opinion, and I think this is true, this is more than an opinion, I think that it's a fact that ethically and environmentally going vegetarian, and especially vegan, is a big deal. And it's going to be beneficial for us, for the earth, and for all the non-human citizens of the world. I think it's a good thing for us humans to go vegetarian or vegan. And like I said, you need to have a good reason. You're going to be tested, and if you don't firmly believe in the ethics, the health, or the environmental reasons, or all three of them, you're going to struggle. And I encourage you to do more research to maybe solidify your reason. Do some research on what it's actually like at some of these factory farms, and you'll see a ton of different information out there. You'll see a lot of behind the scenes, almost like hidden camera footage from slaughterhouses and farms, and that's footage. It's real. I've lived that. I grew up on a dairy farm, and it's something I decided I didn't want to support. And that has always been enough for me to easily, I've never craved meat. And so I'm steadfast in my decision, and whatever it takes for you to be, I think you need to do that. Now, I'll end this video with saying that you're gonna mess up, either accidentally or on purpose. You might get to that party and you haven't eaten for 4 hours, and you're wanting to go vegan, and all they have is vegetarian stuff. And you're gonna mess up, it's gonna happen. You're gonna order the bean burrito, and you're not gonna realize it had cheese in it, or the beans might have lard or something mixed into them, or the cheese dip or the bean dip might have beef in it, and you didn't realize it. It's gonna happen. Don't be hard on yourself. Even like me as a full-time vegan, I'm sure I've eaten meat in the last year and I didn't even know it, or butter or something, and I had no idea, and I still don't know, and I never will. It's fine, it happens, move on. Okay, so that's all I got for video 1 in the series. We talked about definitions, and we talked about having a good reason on going vegetarian or vegan. So I have a couple things for you. If you look at the show notes below, there's a link to the Plant-Based Runners Unite group. If you're a runner and you're a new or future or curious vegetarian or vegan, check out that group. It's a nice group of people. Ask questions. We're here for you. Now, speaking of questions, if you have any questions, comments, suggestions for new vegetarians or vegans, drop them in the comments. I love having little discussions with people down there. Give the video a thumbs up if you found it helpful. That helps me, it helps the channel, and it helps other future or new vegetarians find this video. So check out video number 2 coming up soon. You'll see a link to it on this side, I think, right in a couple seconds. And as always, plant-based runners unite.